1600 WKKX, the Watchdog.
Growing up, you don't see the writing on the wall. Passing by, moving straight ahead, you knew it all. But maybe sometime if you feel the pain, you'll find you're all alone. Everything has changed. Play the game. You know you can quit until it's won. Soldier on. Only you can do what must be done. You know it's some way you're not like me. You're just a prisoner, and you're trying to break free. I can see a new horizon underneath the blazing sky. I'll be where the eagles flying higher and higher. Gonna be a man in motion. All I need is a pair of wheels.
And welcome to another edition of The Variety Show on AM 1600, on the FM side, 98.1. If you're just joining us and you're listening to us in Hawaii on your computer, there's a reason why I mentioned that. I'm Bill DeFabio on this side of the glass. On the other side of the glass, the ever-loving Lola Miller. Lola, how are you for a Friday?
I'm doing well, Bill.
Okay. Got any big plans for the weekend? Other than beer and grilling burgers?
No,
whatever.
we're going up to the Highlands and do some shopping on Saturday, and going to try out a new barbecue place.
Oh, okay. All right. I would enjoy you, but I'm not going to make the trip just to be with you, okay? We'll take a rain check. A barbecue place at the Highlands?
No,
Oh,
it's up on your way to Ogilvy.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, let me know if you like it or not, okay?
Oh, I'm got a feeling I certainly will.
I got a feeling there are not too many meals or restaurants that you've said, I don't like it. Okay. Doesn't take much to satisfy my Lola. And we'll be here till 2 o'clock. And after 2, from 2 to 4, Donnie Gilbert will be here. He'll also be at the Highlands for his show on 1370, okay? Quaker Steak and Lube. So a lot of Donnie Gilbert today on AM and FM. The pride of Moundsville, by the way. I know, because he told me to say that. No, he didn't. This is a time of the season where there's a lot of sports and everything, okay? And if you're really into the NBA, boy, the folks at FanDuel have a great deal for you. You can win up to a couple $100 just with $10, okay? It's an easy app, FanDuel. It's America's #1 sports book app. There's a number of reasons why, but there's a lot of special promotions and a lot of specials, including the NBA. You know, a lot of people have the Milwaukee Bucks and the Los Angeles Lakers going to the finals. Both teams were upset in round 1 of the playoffs, but both teams won last night. That would have been a good time to bet on the Bucks or the Lakers because they seldom lose 2 games in a row. The FanDuel app is so easy to use, whether you're a seasoned bettor, and I'm not, but I'm new to wagering, so I have to find out a lot of things. It only takes a few taps. That's not a tap, but hopefully you think it was. Once you win, FanDuel pays you out in as little, and this is what I like, 24 hours. Say I win on tonight's games or whatever in the NBA or Major League Baseball. If I would have bet yesterday a couple of bucks on, what was his name for the Cleveland Indians, Lola? I have it in my sports story. Sean Bieber, okay? He entered the game 4-0. He has as many wins as the Pirates. He has the best ERA, the most strikeouts in the major leagues. I probably would have taken a bet that he would beat the Pittsburgh Pirates, who were struggling. We'll get to that story, which gets uglier by the game. Good thing we don't have Greg Brown on today. But back to FanDuel Sportsbook, as I said, they pay you out in as little as 24 hours. FanDuel Sportsbook will let you place your first bet risk-free. Place any bet you want and get up to $500 back if you don't win. And there's a lot of specials, including the NBA, PGA Championship, MLB. Don't forget, we have Stanley Cup playoffs. So many things you could bet on. Tennis, okay? Yeah, FanDuel will help you make some money. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get started. Be sure to sign up with the promo code WKKX so they know that we sent you. That's FanDuel Sportsbook promo code WKKX. And the disclaimer is simple, 21 and over, present in West Virginia. First online real money wager bet only. See sportsbook.fanduel.com for terms and restrictions. Oh, by the way, we'd like to remind you, you may have a gambling problem. Here's what you do. Visit www.1800gambler.net. And I'm willing to bet that Butch is on the line. Am I right, Lola?
You are precisely correct.
What do I win?
Nothing.
You went a conversation with Butch Maxwell.
Oh, no, there's something.
All of a sudden you become a celebrity because you do a couple of shows on the radio?
I walked into this being a big fish in a very, very small pool.
Yeah, I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. Or is that a small fish in a big, well, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, something anyway. Yeah,
But
yeah.
I will tell you you're doing a nice job. Would I tell you if you were not doing a nice job? Probably not.
Probably.
Probably not. No. I like to keep our friendship, you know?
Yeah.
But it was
I
good seeing you
appreciate that.
yesterday. You show up for your own show in the studio, and I got to call you.
Yeah. Well, it's when I'm going to be there for 3 hours.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, that's not tough because you got Lola here as your sidekick, right?
That's right. Oh yeah, she's more than a sidekick. She's the woman in charge of the comm, like I like to call it. And when I ramble on and finally say so there, then she knows the pipe writing.
That's good stuff. I want to mention today is Aloha State Day. You know where I'm going?
Well, I suppose it's going to be Hawaii.
Yeah, on this date in 1959, they became a big part of the United States. They were citizens of the United States, said aloha to their new fellow Americans. The Hawaiian Islands became the state of Hawaii by proclamation signed by Dwight D. Eisenhower.
Yes.
Was he a good president? I never read anything bad about the guy.
I think he was a pretty good president. There were a lot of things that happened during the 50s that were amazing. Like, we built the interstate highway system.
That's true.
And that was an amazing accomplishment. The economy was good.
Yep.
We generally were not in wars, although, Korea was winding down and Vietnam was winding up. And he left us with a big warning against the military-industrial complex. And not that we paid attention, but he was probably right about that.
Yeah. But Hawaii, have you ever been to Hawaii? Hawaii?
I have not. We were just talking about that. We're trying to think about our next exotic vacation, and Hawaii was among the places that we were talking about that none of us have been in my family.
Most beautiful beaches in the world. All right. There's a lot of flowers like orchids. I can't pronounce. Gardenia. What's a gardenia, Lola?
It's a flower, Bill.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Birds of paradise.
That's a flower, too. That's a
Okay.
flower.
All right. I didn't know this, but Hawaii is unusual in that it has no snakes or billboards. You're not allowed to have billboards in Hawaii?
No, you're not.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they don't want the natural beauty of the islands ruined by a bunch of commercial
I didn't know that.
excesses. Hawaii is one of the most, I just loved it. And when the ship would pull up close to an island, you could smell it. You could smell the flowers and the greenery. It's just absolutely phenomenal.
Okay. And it says here, this is really hard to pronounce. What are they? Oh, Butch. Hama nuka nuka puka. And it says here, that's better. How do they know what I just said? This is on paper.
It might be pretty close. You might be pretty close.
All right.
The Hawaiian language is really difficult until you figure out how the words are broken into syllables.
All right, Butch, I got to ask you.
Sure.
When I say aloha, should I look at Lola? Because aloha means love, there's an X, affection, compassion, mercy, sympathy, pity, kindness, grace, that leaves her out, and charity. And hello and goodbye.
Yes, I didn't realize it had so many meanings. I knew that it meant hello and goodbye, but I didn't know that. So that can be confusing. Now, I guess it has to be just contextual. You figure
Yeah.
out what people mean.
Yeah.
You know.
Was it the last state to be entered?
It was.
Another one, okay.
The 50th.
Yeah, here it is, the 50th state of the United States of America. It's
Yeah,
made up,
Alaska was just a year or so before it, I think.
it's made up of a chain of 122 volcanic islands spread out over 1,600 miles. That's not on my bucket list, but I like the idea there's no snakes, because I hate snakes, and no billboards. I never knew that till I read this and Lola confirmed it.
Very cool. Yeah.
And I don't think they have rabies.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you want to take your pet, it's a very stringent rules to follow to take your pet in. And they have wild chickens everywhere. Everywhere you go, there's chickens running around.
One of my good stringers who no longer, well, he's not with me, but unless the Steelers play somebody in Vegas, because he's now living in Vegas, working in Vegas, he covers the hockey team. They're going to have a baseball team down the road. He had a condo, well, 2 condos in Honolulu. He didn't need to work. He just lived off the rent money. And he was telling me after he sold the condos that, you know, if you ever come here, come with a lot of cash or make sure your credit cards are still good, because everything's expensive.
Yep.
Everything's got to be shipped in. And he told me, I said, well, what's a Big Mac over there? He said about $9. Oh, I'd hate to buy a steak.
That's why there are spam restaurants.
Oh, Lord, you're right. Spam's big over there. Yeah.
Yes, it is. I mean, they have whole restaurants that, you know, cater to every kind of recipe you could possibly imagine for spam.
Have you tried Spam, Butch?
I have, and that one time was enough. I'm not, as you know, I'm not much of a meat eater anyway, and although I'm not sure that qualifies as meat.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Do not disparage my spam.
Oh, okay, all right. I hit a nerve there.
Yes, you did.
Oh, yes, you did. Yes, you did. Spam. Oh.
Well, you know, I'm not a meat fan, so I'm probably not qualified to comment too much on that.
Way to try and get out of that one there, Butch.
Yeah, how about that? You know, I can.
Are you one of those organic guys at all?
Yeah, I do prefer organic, but I'm not a purist about it. After all, we don't. The nearest Whole Foods is about 500 miles, so so I just do the best I can.
Yeah, okay, all right. Well, that's good, too. Well, we learned a little bit, at least I learned a little bit about Hawaii. Maybe I'll put that on my bucket list. Instead of going to Paris, because I probably won't be able to get into Europe for a while, maybe I'll go to Hawaii, you know?
That's on our list maybe for next year.
Yeah.
It's Hawaii.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be good. I'll save some money by swimming there, okay? Yeah. What would that be, about a 12-hour flight? Probably have to go to L.A. and then take a flight?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
I think we had a direct flight from Pittsburgh to Hawaii. That was like the never-ending flight. Absolutely never-ending. What I'd like to do is, if I had the time, would be to take a cruise ship from California, you know, somewhere, and take it to then Hawaii, and then take a little puddle. They've got a Hawaiian airline that just flies from island to island to island, you know, and I'd like to go to either Maui or Kona, so.
Yeah.
But taking a cruise ship would be cool, because you could eat nonstop for 6 days or something like that.
Well, I wouldn't mind having you for a traveling partner, Lola, but after spending a couple days in Philadelphia, I think our traveling days are over. I ran out of beer money in Philadelphia with Lola.
Oh, you did not. I did not drink the whole time we were there, so don't start that.
But when you did drink, who picked up the tab?
One time.
Well, that's
because
more than no
It was
times.
freezing. We were lost, so we found a bar.
And you got us lost.
I did not.
That was a great time, though. We got to see the Pope, Butch.
Yeah.
We were just a few feet away,
That's fantastic.
and I thought he was waving at me, and I'm waving at him, and here he's waving at the guy behind me that had a little kid on his neck. On his head. Philadelphia was nice. It was good. It was a good time.
Now, was that Benedict or Francis that you saw?
That was the one in 2015.
Francis.
Francis.
Just Francis.
Francis, yeah. Francis.
Oh, good.
And And I don't know, when I had the audience with the Pope in 1982, one-on-one for exactly 30 seconds, I don't know which Pope that was. I get them all mixed up. And you know, I have a regular 8 film of the Pope when he visited Yankee Stadium.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'll sell you the projector that goes with the film for a couple of bucks if you want.
No, thanks. I just got rid of, my dad had a Super 8 and projector and all that. And you know what? There's just no market for that stuff anymore.
No, unless you want to put it on your fireplace or something, you know?
Yeah, right, yeah.
But, you know, it's... a couple years ago, I have both. I have 2 regular 8s and 2 Super 8s, and I took the Super 8 out, and I think it was the movie Godzilla, the original with Perry Mason, of course, no sound. And my kid said, "You watched that? You watched that?" I said, "Yeah, I watched it on the refrigerator door. You know, didn't have a screen back then." You know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What kind of a childhood did you have? Yeah, but, you know, to me, that was like going to the movies, since you had your own movies, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was very cool when that was all we had. And then with the advent of the VCR, boy, that changed everything now, you know?
Yeah. What was the laser disc, which I can't remember the laser disc. Was it like an album? Was it like an album?
It was 12-inch disc, printed on both sides.
Okay, okay, I got you.
And hold a movie on it, generally. I didn't know anybody who actually had a laser disc player. They weren't around very long. They were a trend, I think, in the 70s, along with quadraphonic. Remember quadraphonic records?
Yes.
And that was another trend that didn't last very long, but it was out there. I do have some quadraphonic albums, but only a standard stereo, though. So, yeah.
I remember when the cassette was a big deal, you know? You could hear the hiss if you turned off volume a little bit, you know? Every car had a cassette player in it.
Absolutely.
Then every car had a CD player. I don't know if any of these new cars have a CD player in them or not. I don't know.
They don't. I just bought a recent model car, and I'm still looking for the 8-track tape player in it. No, they don't have anything like that. Everybody just Bluetooths or listens to the radio. Yeah, especially AM 1600, right?
Yeah, and boy, that's a nice plug, nice segue. And I remember going to Midland, PA, to see my Uncle Patsy, who owned the town, by the way. You know, and he had a '56 Cadillac, one of those big ones. It had a record player in it. A record player in it. Now, can you imagine? They had potholes back then. You'd hear Hound Dog. You ain't nothing but Hound Dog. I couldn't believe it. And I hope somebody out there doesn't say he's crazy. Believe me, he had a record player in his car.
I have a hard time walking across the floor without making my turntable skip. So it's that's the one of the downsides of playing vinyl. That, and you do tend to get some surface noise and stuff like that. But there's a certain warmth about playing vinyl, music on vinyl that you don't get. Now, I understand that actually cassettes are making a comeback. I'm not sure why. Maybe people missed that hiss. But
I have boxes of cassettes that haven't been opened yet. Maybe I'll get a quarter each.
Yeah, you might, you know. But how old are those cassettes?
Why did you ask that? I don't know.
Because tape only lasts about 20 years or so, maybe 25.
Yeah.
And it begins to, the oxidation just begins to deteriorate on it. It doesn't, you can still play them, but they won't have nearly the fidelity that they once had. And they're going to get brittle and tend to break, too. So
I have a lot of 8-tracks, too, that are in pretty good shape.
Is that right?
Although the wheels for the tape, they look kind of ugly, so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you remember did you have to put like a matchbox or a match book underneath the tape in order to hold it in right in your car?
Yep, you're right.
That was a big thing.
My first tape was The Best of the Temptations. And, it was an 8-track, but there were like 4 different tracks with songs. Like in the middle of My Girl, I got my girl, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know what? That was a fun thing. Now I can get everything off the cell phone.
Yeah.
Even, this is a nice segue into FanDuel. I know you're not a big sports fan, are you?
No, I'm not.
Okay, I won't read the American League scoreboard or talk to you about the Detroit Tigers, what may happen to them tonight. Lola knows what's coming up. But you know what? I'm into the NBA. If you're into the NBA, you know, I guess if you read the papers or you check your cell phone or you watch TV, ESPN, the Bucks of Milwaukee and the Lakers of Los Angeles, they seem to be headed to the finals, although both lost in round one of the playoffs, but they both won last night. You can make a lot of money off the NBA. You can win up to $200 with like a $10 bet. Just check out FanDuel. They'll tell you a little bit more about their company, which is America's #1 sportsbook app, and here's why. The app is super easy to use. Whether you're a seasoned bettor or new to wagering like yours truly, you'll find what you're looking for in just a few taps. And once you win, this is what's great about this company. FanDuel pays you out in as little as 24 hours. Your bookie can't guarantee that. Best of all, FanDuel Sportsbook will let you place your first bet risk-free. You can make any kind of bet, and you can earn up to $500 if you lose. Nobody else can claim that. All you got to do is download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get started, and be sure to sign up with promo code WKKX so they know that we sent you. That's FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code WKKX. You got to be 21 plus and present in West Virginia. First online real money wager only. See sportsbookfanduel.com for terms and restrictions. Got a gambling problem? Don't call Butch because he doesn't gamble. Visit www.1800gambler.net. Before we take a news break, Butch, did you get my oldies from the 70s yesterday?
I did, yeah, and actually they weren't too bad either. I wasn't, I wasn't groaning or moaning too much. But,
you will today.
Okay, well,
All right.
I look forward to that.
Coming up in about 45 minutes, all right? But we got to take a break. Butch, Bill, and Lola, what a trio. You know, we're better than those three stooges, aren't we, Butch? Oh, maybe he's gone. We'll take a break.
Well, I'm here. I
put him on hold.
Oh, you put him on hold? Okay.
yes.
Well, then you're Curly, because he wasn't the smartest one of the three, okay, Butch?
All right.
Although you don't have curly hair, and that makes me very jealous. We're the Watchdog.
Hey, I'm going to the kitchen. Can I grab you a Coors Light?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Huh. I never knew there was a zip line in my fridge. Hey, buddy!
Yeah!
You got 2 Coors Lights up there?
You got it!
Always brewed down to 34 degrees. With a taste as cold as the Rockies, only Coors Light gives you refreshment every time.
Here you go. 2 Coors Lights.
Awesome, man. Wow, these are really cold.
That's the only way I deliver it.
Sure. I mean, you being a mountain climber and all,
Yep.
you probably need a pretty warm coat in there, huh?
Yep.
Hey, Ben!
Yeah!
Ask him if he has any nachos.
You got any nachos in there?
No.
Just icy cold Coors Light?
Yep.
That makes sense. It is the Rockies.
Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. With great beer comes great responsibility.
New Belgium Fat Tire Amber Ale is now available in West Virginia and distributed locally by wine and beverage merchants. With its toasty and biscuit-like malt flavors blended perfectly with hoppy freshness, it's bound to become one of your new favorite craft beers. Fat Tire Amber Ale is now available at local retailers. Please don't drink and drive, and drink responsibly. From your friends at Wine and Beverage
The
Merchants.
Highlands Event Center is the area's premier destination for conferences, workshops, employment fairs, weddings, and more. With 4,000 square feet of space, the Highland Event Center can accommodate events large and small. Situated in the heart of the Highlands, guests can enjoy the many restaurants, retail stores, entertainment, and lodging options. To check out everything the Highlands Event Center has to offer, head to thehighlandseventcenter.com or call 833-639-7070.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Does your dog need groomed or walked? Are you looking for a pet sitter or dog boarding options? If so, call Dirty Paws, Wheeling's newest pet care service, providing the Ohio Valley with everyone's pet care needs. Check us out on Facebook at Dirty Paws WHG or call 304-639-7754.
Hello, I'm Wheeling Fire Chief Larry Helms. As our city and region get back to business, it's extremely important to continue the following specific health guidelines to stop the spread of COVID-19. This virus is highly contagious and is more deadly than the flu. Please wear a mask or face covering in public, wash your hands more often, socially distance yourself as much as possible, and by following these guidelines, it potentially could save you.
Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection. Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection.
The WTRF. The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
West Virginia Metro News. I'm Shauna Johnson. The Monroe County Courthouse is closed to the public today, a closure that comes at a time when COVID-19 cases are on the rise in Monroe County. Local health officials are confirming more than 40 positives in residents and employees at one site, the Springfield Center, a skilled nursing center located in Linside. Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden is vowing to draw on the best of us, not the worst, as his campaign ramps up ahead of the November general election. He spoke from Wilmington, Delaware, Thursday night to close the virtual Democratic National Convention. For the Constitution Party, former Massey Energy CEO Don Blankenship is leading the ticket as the presidential nominee. The mail will run efficiently. What U.S. Senator Shelley Moore Capito is pledging, now that changes to U.S. Postal Service operations are being put on hold until after Election Day, at a time when more Americans are voting by mail because of the pandemic.
Sorry that we've got this controversy with the post office, quite frankly, but I think that we're on the way to smoothing it out and hopefully regain the faith that our ballots will get there on time, safely, and be counted on the proper manner.
The U.S. Postmaster General announced the delay earlier this week. In Cabell County, it proposed more than $87 million school construction bonds on the ballot for Election Day tomorrow. You're listening to Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. Sustainability is part of the new visitor center set to open this fall in Tucker County's Canaan Valley National Wildlife Refuge.
It's LEED Silver, which means it has energy efficient measures such as solar panels, radiant floor heat, really good windows, top-of-the-line insulation. It has an area where the public or the community coming can have meetings in one side of our room.
Ron Hollis is the refuge manager from the Metro News Anchor Desk. I'm Shauna Johnson.
WKKX and WVLY voted coolest couple in their high school yearbook.
Some people shout. Are you shouting, Butch, when you hear that song?
No. No.
That's not one of your favorites?
No, not one of my favorites, but it's okay. A lot of my friends really like Kiss, but not one of my favorites.
I got a set of all four Kiss individuals, bobbleheads. Would you like to make a bid on them?
And absolutely not. But I can tell you some people who might like that, but
Okay.
No, not me.
Yeah, it's another thing I found out of the attic. Not the sports attic, the other attic, so I'm finding a lot of stuff. I got Beatles cups and stuff, that I got at a good deal at what was the name of the place I always used to go to? They went out of business. Camelot. I don't know if they had a Camelot. Did they have a Camelot around here, Lola? No? Okay.
I don't know. I have no idea.
There was one at the mall for a while.
All right.
Yeah. And And it became Sam Goody's, I think, after a while.
Sam Goody's, yeah. You could buy a lot of good used stuff there pretty cheap. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And National Record Mart, I think I grew up with that, so. Wow.
Yeah, I worked there for a little while.
All right. How many records?
I was in college.
How many records did you steal?
None.
Oh,
No.
okay, all right.
For one thing, you can't, it'd be hard to steal if you really wanted to do that.
But I bet you got a nice discount, didn't you, being an employee?
I did get a discount, and, the problem when you work in a place where you love the merchandise is you spend all of your money on it.
You make $100 a week and you spend $300 a week, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You made the bosses happy.
Yeah, well, that's true, yeah.
I happened to be looking last night. I don't know what made me do it. I just wanted to see what some of the wealthiest celebrities in music and movies make. I was just like taken back. Dolly Parton's worth like $520 million. Isn't that a lot of money?
Yeah, it's kind of a lot of money.
But it doesn't compare to a couple of guys, George Lucas and Steven Spielberg and Oprah. Oprah's at number 3. Her net worth is $3.5 billion. Nothing compared to Steven Spielberg. He's at number 2. You want to know what he's worth? $3.9 billion.
Wow.
How about George Lucas? He's at number 1.
$6.5 billion.
Yeah, you hit it right on the nose. $6.5 billion. Well, I don't know what Bill Gates is worth. I have no idea. $100 billion?
Jeff Bezos is worth about $63 billion, I think, something like that.
Okay.
So, compare that to George Lucas. Bezos is Lucas is poor as compared to Bezos.
Yeah. Steven Spielberg just bought a house near Hollywood Hills. He paid $43 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
Guess who bought the house off of?
I don't know.
The pride and joy of a guy who performed in my backyard, Bobby Vinton. Cannon's worth, yeah.
Wow.
Some silly stuff that I thought I'd share with you, because we like to get silly here. We don't want to get too serious with everything that's going on outside the world of entertainment and music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely. That's amazing. I cherish $1,000. I don't know what I do with millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Millions and millions and millions. Well, I have to give $1 million to Lola, but so she can go to Hawaii. But that's just amazing. There's a whole list, and it's just amazing what some of these people have made. Clint Eastwood's worth about $180 million. You'd think with all the movies he was in and directed that he'd be worth a little bit more than that. Are you ready? What happened to Clint Eastwood on this date in 1984?
Do tell.
Clint Eastwood contributed a handprint to the Hollywood Walk of Fame in front of Mann's Chinese Theater. Remember he had that famous saying, pointing a .44 Magnum at a guy's face, "Go ahead, make my day." You know what his handprint said?
You made my day? I don't know.
What, did you know this before I had it on the air?
I'm just guessing.
That's what he wrote. I mean, that's what he did. You made my day. Butch, I know you're a smart professor, but I didn't think you were brilliant. Man.
I'm just putting it together, Bill, that's all.
Yeah, I guess it's pretty simple. That'd be pretty cool, too. That would be real cool stuff to have the ceremonies and everything. So, all right, we still have time. How was your interview yesterday with the group that you told me to promote?
Crack the Sky? Oh, it was very good. Yeah,
Okay.
I really enjoyed speaking with them, and I hope our listeners did as much. And we played a little of their music, and they were just wonderful. They answered all my questions and more. So
they started out in Weirton, PA, right? I mean, Weirton, PA. Weirton, West Virginia.
We're in West Virginia, right? And they built their biggest fan base was in Baltimore, which is where one of them moved. I guess several of them moved there for a while, but they mostly moved back to the Weirton area, except for John Palumbo. And but he doesn't now live there. He cleared that up when he lives in New Jersey, I think is what he said. But
all right. I got some good news in Pennsylvania. Today we ought to know by 3 o'clock whether their high school sports will take place in the fall, not in the spring. But it looks like they're going to reopen, possibly at the end of the month, movie theaters. Now, I don't know what the situation is in this state. You have any idea, Lola, in this state, if theaters will be opening up soon?
I don't know, Butch. Are movie theaters open?
No, they're not now. And as far as I know, they're not going to open anytime soon.
Okay.
That's another one that got put on the back burner, you know, along with theaters like the Capitol and arenas and, you know, no real guidelines coming out of Charleston on any of that.
No, there are, as of today, let's see, there are 283 cases of coronavirus in Ohio County. So that's, we're not exactly a hot spot, but that's more than most other counties. Berkeley beats us out with 753, and Cabell, which has a much larger population, at 485. But otherwise, Ohio County is pretty close to the top of the list. Wayne County has 223, a little less than we do, but a whole lot less people, a whole lot fewer people, I should say. So, but I do know that my friends at Towngate Theater are hoping to put the first play of the season up in the last 2 weeks of September. They're going to launch a production of Neil Simon's comedy Brighton Beach Memoirs over the last 2 weekends of this month. It had been originally scheduled to go up in the spring, and it was delayed. And so they have been rehearsing it. They are going to be wearing masks during the performance, I understand, and they're going to cap the house at about 1/3 the capacity there, so that they can promote social distancing. So, well, that's not a movie theater. That is some theater news anyway.
Yeah. You know, I've spent a lot of time at the movie theater up at the Highlands, and I was just thinking the other day, you could separate people, you know, made one row apart or whatever. Every time I go in there, there's not more than 5 or 6 people in the afternoon, especially on Seniors Day. So you can come up with a great idea for social distancing.
Yeah, it's possible. You know, and I miss going to the movie theaters. I miss going to theaters, period.
Yeah, I do too.
So,
I do too. Hey, let's talk about the professor, Butch. I guess your Wheeling University students check in Saturday, and of course they're all going to be tested and everything, which is a good thing. What about West Liberty?
West Liberty is on a 2-week delay. They won't be starting until September for the traditional students. However, I'm teaching a course online, and that's already started. So that's, you know, sort of somewhat different startups. And my other employer is in Belmont College, and they're slated to start next week. So we'll just see. I went and got a COVID test on Tuesday, so that I can return to campus at Wheeling University. I didn't get the results yet, but you know, when the results come in, they will, you know, probably say that on Tuesday I did not have coronavirus. Now, whether that's still the condition when I go into the classroom on Monday, we don't know.
Yeah.
But what I'll do is I'll blame it on you, since I saw you yesterday.
Oh,
I got it.
Yeah. Blame it on the old guy, huh? Yeah. Don't blame it on Biff. Yeah. Blame it on Lola. Whatever.
Well, I did see both you and Lola and Biff. I saw Biff there yesterday, too.
Okay. All right. Is that when they stick the thing up your nose, it looks like it hits your brain or something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not all that bad, though. It tickles a little. It isn't painful at all or anything like that. But, and I realize these are measures that the universities are trying to do, but because it's the best they can right now. But it seems a little silly to me. They also take the temperature as you enter campus too, but you know, that doesn't really show much either. It just shows whether you are really sick right now, and not necessarily from COVID either.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, that's very true. It's all crazy out there, but I think you're the first one I talked to that's been tested. So.
Yeah,
and I wanted to find out, people say, oh, that hurts, and no, you're the first one to say it tickles, so.
Yeah, it's just a little tickle. When it was in my left nostril, it lasted about a second, and you know, and it's over. And so, you know, it's really not a big deal. You know, I wouldn't mind if they tested me every day, but to have to wait for results for several days is crazy. We need to have those results right now, to make it really effective. And the technology just isn't there yet. It's not anyone's fault, locally. It's just they're doing the best they can, but the best that they can is not really very good right now.
Yeah, but if you were a professional athlete, you'd have the result within 24 hours.
Yeah, you probably would. Yeah. Man, professional athletes. But we're not professional athletes. I've noticed this.
Well, your job is a little bit more important because you're teaching. Professional athletes, they get paid good money to perform, and that's okay too, but I think nobody should have to wait a week or whatever for results, but whatever.
Yeah, it's a shame. But I think the testing will get better.
Yeah.
So I think that, but actually, I think also we're going to be in for a major shutdown in the fall. I think the things that have opened up will largely have to collapse back again for a while. And our greatest hope is an effective vaccine that probably won't come until sometime after the first of the year at the soonest. So.
Every day or every minute, you never know, especially in all the states where the governors, they don't even know what to do. I couldn't be the governor of a state. Matter of fact, I couldn't be the trainer for any team out there. And as far as high school, college are concerned, I wouldn't want to be an athletic director. Because you might schedule some games and get a phone call, well, we got to play a team in Ohio, and we can't do that. Or they have to come to West Virginia, they can't do that. So I wouldn't want to be an athletic director. Although a couple of my friends who are athletic directors in Washington County, they make six figures a year. God bless them. That's a tough job.
Yeah, well, they're earning it this year, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I am ready. Let's do this.
On 1976, RCA Victor Records announced to the public that the sales of the King of Music, Elvis Presley, had passed the 400 million mark. That's a lot of records.
Yeah.
Linda Ronstadt, you a big fan?
I am a fan, yeah.
On 1980, she debuted in Broadway in a production of Gilbert and Sullivan's The Pirates of Penzance? How do you say that, Lola? Penzance. Okay. All right, I'm a big Linda Ronstadt fan. I play the greatest hits every once in a while. And I remember this guy, he was born in 1904, Count Basie.
Oh, yeah.
And his orchestra, right?
Mm-hmm.
My biggest memory of Count Basie, I remember when I was playing football in Boston into college, there was about 20 of us went to see Blazing Saddles. And in the middle of the movie, you see the new sheriff going through the desert, and who's playing in the desert? Count Basie and his orchestra. In the middle of the desert.
Wow.
All right, he passed away in 1984. How about Freeze Freeling? You ever hear of him?
No,
Cartoonist.
Don't know that one.
Cartoonist, Academy Award-winning film animator, director, producer. If you watch Looney Tunes, you'll see his name there. Merry Melodies, Porky Pig, Tweety Bird, Sylvester the Cat. I don't remember Sylvester the Cat.
Oh, he was the guy with suffering succotash. He kind of had a little speech impediment.
Oh, okay. And Sam Speedy Gonzalez. Yosemite Sam, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Passed away in 1995. I used to watch all that, and I loved it. What was the Roadrunner?
Yeah, Roadrunner.
Who chased him and never could catch him?
Wile E. Coyote.
Wow, oh, my goodness.
Oh, it's beep, beep, zip, bang, beep, beep, zip, bang.
Beep, beep. By the way, back then, the Roadrunner cars and that, you know what? People said they're no good, they're made out of plastic, but they were some of the best cars made. My neighbor had a Roadrunner, and every once in a while we would go out on the highway, and it was amazing how that speedometer would hit 110, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Plastic's a lot lighter than metal, and sometimes more durable.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. But those were good cars. I remember a Dodge RT was really a great car. All right. Kenny Rogers, who recently passed away, on this date in 1938, he won a Grammy and CMA award-winning singer. He was born in 1938, I'm sorry. Do you have, I'll ask you first, you have a favorite Kenny Rogers tune?
Just dropped in to see what condition my condition was in.
All right.
And after that, I didn't like him so much.
Lola? You have a favorite one?
The Gambler.
That's one of my favorites, too. He was also a member of the New Christie Minstrels, okay? And he was also a member of First Edition. And what was their song?
That was the one I just mentioned.
Yeah,
Just
and
dropped in to
see what
Yeah.
condition my condition was in.
Right.
And he was in the Gambler series, okay? Born in 1938, recently passed away March 20th. Jackie DeShannon, she used to party with the Rolling Stones and the Beatles. She was a good friend of Paul McCartney. And every once in a while, when I feel the world's going into the toilet, so to speak, I'll play one of her favorite songs, What the World Needs Now is Love. Her real name was Sharon Myers. She was born on this date in 1944. Were you a big Jackie DeShannon fan?
I was not a big fan, but I do like that song very much, yeah.
And Put a Little Love in Your Heart. I try and sing that to Lola. It doesn't work.
That's another good song. Yeah, I guess I am a Jackie DeShannon fan.
And she wrote a song for a group called The Searchers, Needles and Pins.
Oh, yeah, that's a great song. I didn't realize she wrote that one. My band played that.
And she co-wrote, are you sitting down? Betty Davis Eyes.
Oh, okay. Well, forgive her for that.
Well, I like that song.
Okay.
Oh, you didn't like it?
No, not particularly, but that's okay. You know.
Okay, her real name was Sharon Myers. All right. Kim Sledge. Familiar with Kim Sledge, born on this date, 57?
No, not at all.
Singer with the group Sister Sledge.
Oh, okay.
Who sang that song over and over and over again. Matter of fact, every Pirate home game. Then they would dance on top of the dugouts. We are family, and I would throw up in the press box.
Yeah. It was like, yeah, that was basically their only hit, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they made millions. They made millions of dollars thanks to Willie Stargell, who started playing it in the clubhouse. And then it caught on, with the networks and that. But hey, he made people a lot of money, and that was the theme song of the 79 Pirates, who went on to win the World Series. So here we go, 1956. Elvis Presley had the number 2 song. It was a double hit, Hound Dog and Don't Be Cruel. All right? Johnny Cash had the number 1 song in country music, I Walk the Line. And number 1 was one of my favorite groups, the Platters, My Prayer. Were you a Platters fan?
No, I don't remember that one at all.
Okay. 1964, the number 1 country tune was Dang Me. Dang me, dang me, they ought to take a rope and hang me to the highest tree, whatever. That was Roger Miller. Number 3 was Ragdoll by the Four Seasons.
Okay.
Number 2, Where Did Our Love Go? The Supremes.
Good song.
Number 1, Dean Martin, out of Steubenville. Everybody loves somebody sometime.
Sometime, yep. Okay.
All right, you sitting down?
Yeah.
Number 2 in 72, Brandy, You're a Fine Girl by Looking Glass.
Oh, boy, was that a horrible song. Yeah, all right.
Yeah. Number 3, by the way, was Long Cool Woman in a Black Dress by the Hollies.
That was a good song. I liked that one a lot.
All right, you ready for number 1, 1, 1, 1?
Yeah.
Gilbert O'Sullivan, Alone Again, Naturally.
Bill, did you remember his voice? I mean, wasn't it like one of the worst voices ever?
It was worse than mine.
It was terrible. I don't know how he got it hit, but yeah.
And he had a greatest hits album, and I think I was stupid enough to buy it, and I only recognized Alone Again.
Yeah, that was just it. Yeah.
All right, you want to go 1980 before we say goodbye and have a good weekend?
Yeah, let's do that. 1980. Maybe we'll find something good there.
Number 2, Sailing, Christopher Cross.
Okay, keep going.
I like that tune.
All right, okay.
Number 1 was Magic by Olivia Newton-John.
Well, that's the trouble. The 80s probably didn't really get started until 81.
Yeah. Well, in 88, number 1 was Roll With It by Steve Winwood.
Yeah, that was a good song. I always liked Steve Winwood.
And number 2 was Monkey by George Michael.
George Michael. Yeah, okay. I don't remember that particular song. But,
Well, the 80s were, I liked the M80s, but some of the songs in the 80s I didn't like.
Yeah, well.
I still think that song, I heard the song the other day on an oldie station, playing 80s and 90s, 99 Balloons or whatever.
99 Left.
I almost drove off the highway. I hated that song.
I love that song.
I would too. I love that song. One of the most popular songs the M80s plays, too. People just love that. So.
I never heard you hear that. I must have went to the bathroom while you were singing it. I don't know.
Yeah, we did it. In fact, Shannon used to sing it in the original German.
Are you serious?
I'm serious, yeah. 99 Luft balloons.
Wow. I always knew she was talented, but that's really talent.
That's really something.
And you're a good talent. We're glad to have you on the Watchdog team, and of course we'll hear from you. When's your day, Wednesdays?
Wednesday, but I will actually be sitting in again during the drive time on Monday.
Okay, all right.
So we will pass in the hallway on Monday, I imagine.
Oh, yeah, you're coming in, right?
Yeah, I'm coming in.
When you come in, I wear a mask.
All right, sounds good, Bill.
Thank you, Butch.
Okay, have a good weekend.
All right, Butch Maxwell. And coming up, just a reminder, from 2 to 4, Donnie Gilbert, and will he be here? Yeah, that's what my little cheat sheet says. All right.
No, he'll be up at Quaker Steak and Lube.
And then when will he be here? 3 to 5?
No, he'll be at Quaker Steak and Lube from 2 to 4.
2 to 4, okay, all right. See, I got all these people here, okay. Then Butch just gave us his itinerary, okay? All right, yeah, we got a lot of talent coming here. So it was good to hear from DJ Daner the other day and Paul Harris, you know. They bring a lot to the table.
We got to go.
And I'm going to say we are the Watchdog.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
Including removing some sorting machines from regional centers, will not impact the expected surge of mailed ballots this election.
There has been no changes in any policies with regard to election mail for the 2020 election.
Committee member Senator Mitt Romney asking about concerns over USPS letters earlier sent to states about not being able to guarantee the timely delivery of mailed ballots.
If people vote within 7 days of election, are they highly confident? Are you highly confident that those ballots would then be received?
Extremely highly confident. We will scour every plant the day, each night leading up to Election Day.
DeJoy recommended, though, for Americans to vote early. He'll testify next week before a House committee. This a day after Joe Biden accepted the Democratic nomination for president, pledging to lead Americans out of its darkest moment under what Biden called the failures of President Trump. The president today in Virginia speaking before a group of conservatives in Arlington, firing back.
Over the last week, the Democrats held the darkest and angriest and gloomiest convention in American history.
The Republican National Convention begins next week. President Trump also getting word today that he cannot legally shield some of his tax records.
A federal judge in New York denied President Trump's request to stay an earlier decision that allowed a subpoena for his tax returns to move forward. The judge said the president has not demonstrated that he will suffer irreparable harm, since a grand jury is obligated to keep evidence secret. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office wants the tax returns as part of an investigation into hush payments to Stormy Daniels. The Supreme Court affirmed the subpoena, but allowed the president to challenge parts of it. And earlier this week, the judge rejected that challenge, saying justice requires an end to this controversy.
ABC's Aaron Katursky. You're listening to ABC News.
Finding the next job is a big job, and that part of what you do is a little tough right now. Because of that, Lowe's for Pros is here to help. Get $400 in leads on us with a free 1-year subscription from HomeAdvisor to connect to jobs that make sense for you. Sign up at lowesforpros.com/pro-loyalty to get started. Just one more reason why Lowe's is the new home for pros. Now let's get to work. Subscription and $400 lead credit subject to HomeAdvisor's approval and terms. Valid for new HomeAdvisor customers only. Lowe's loyalty required. More terms apply. Valid through 9/9 U.S. only.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Most people know that Mr. Clean Magic Eraser removes crayon and scuff marks from walls, but did you know it even cleans tough kitchen and bathroom messes that are sometimes tough to tackle? Just wet, squeeze, and erase gray soap scum on your bathtub. Erase cloudy hard water spots in your shower. Erase burnt-on stovetop messes. So for all your tough kitchen and bathroom messes, try Mr. Clean Magic Eraser.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
California firefighters battling nearly 24 wildfires, including one in Napa County. ABC's Clayton Sandell is there.
Conditions are getting worse for people in the fire zone, with blackouts, a grueling heat wave, and nearly unbreathable, unhealthy air.
If I think about it too hard, I'll just start crying.
Officials are warning people, civilians especially, not to form their own fire brigades. They say they are putting people's lives in danger, but the folks we met here say they will be out here as long as it takes.
Mississippi narrowing its search for a state flag that eliminates a Confederate battle emblem. A special commission considering replacements.
Mississippi is the Magnolia State, and not surprisingly, magnolias are represented on 4 of the 5 finalist flags. The 5th features a shield containing wavy lines to represent the Mississippi River. Each design will now be made into an actual flag that Mississippians will get to judge for themselves.
Those flags will fly one after another for a minute or two in front of the old Capitol.
Katie Blount is director of the Mississippi Department of Archives and History. By next month, one finalist will be chosen to go on a statewide ballot in November. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
And a push is on to change the name of the Strom Thurmond Fitness Center at the University of South Carolina. Athletes who went there object to the segregationist views once held by the late U.S. Senator. This is ABC News.
Can Donald Trump really beat Joe Biden? Now, Blitz, a new bestseller by David Horowitz, reveals President Trump's real game plan. Rush Limbaugh says Blitz predicts Trump will win in a landslide. Mark Levin calls Blitz the indispensable book of the 2020 election. It's already a New York Times bestseller. Get Blitz or check out the free offer and save $28. Just go online to blitz411.com or call 800-NEWSMAX. That's 800-NEWSMAX. Get Blitz today.
I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Learning you have cancer is very serious. So when choosing a hospital, consider one that has these 3 essential elements: radiation oncology, medical oncology, and surgical oncology. You'll find all 3 at the Schiffler Cancer Center of Wheeling Hospital. We provide clinical trials, conduct research, and treat more patients than any area center. Plus, we have the region's only accredited comprehensive cancer program. Now that's cancer care close to home. The Schiffler Cancer Center of Wheeling Hospital.
Does your dog need groomed or walked? Are you looking for a pet sitter or dog boarding options? If so, call Dirty Paws, Wheeling's newest pet care service, providing the Ohio Valley with everyone's pet care needs. Check us out on Facebook at Dirty Paws WHG or call 304-639-7754.
Hello, I'm Wheeling Fire Chief Larry Helms. As our city and region get back to business, it's extremely important to continue the following specific health guidelines to stop the spread of COVID-19. This virus is highly contagious and is more deadly than the flu. Please wear a mask or face covering in public, wash your hands more often, socially distance yourself as much as possible, and by following these guidelines, it potentially could save you.
The end of summer event is on at your Toyota dealer, meaning right now is the best time to save big on the car, truck, or SUV you've been dreaming of, like an off-road ready 4Runner or a rugged Tacoma, both available with $1,000 cash back. Or go in an adventurous RAV4, the best-selling SUV in America, and get $1,500 cash back. Take $1,500 back on a stylish Corolla, or $2,000 back on a sporty new Camry, or get $2,500 cash back on the rugged half-ton Tundra. You can even drive away in a spacious Highlander with enough room for the whole family right now with $1,000 cash back, plus $500 bonus cash from Toyota. Shop for more great savings at Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com. You can take cash back or apply toward down payment. Bonus cash must be applied toward down payment. Some offers may exclude TRD Pro models. See your dealer for details. The end of summer event is on at Toyota. So go see your dealer today. Offers end August 31st. Toyota.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster with a look at your local weather forecast for your Friday. Mostly cloudy skies with a few scattered showers. A daytime high near 85. Your overnight low of 63 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Chance for showers and thunderstorms for your Saturday with temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
Now it's time for Bill DeFabio on AM 1600 WKKX, The Watchdog.
December back in '63. What a very special time for me, as I remember what a night. Oh, what a night. You know, I didn't even know her name, but I was never gonna be the same. What a lady, what a night.
Bet you didn't know. Maybe you did know if you were a big Four Seasons fan. The gentleman singing this song that you hear was not Frankie Valli. This was the bass player. Did you know that, Lola?
No, I did not, Bill.
Okay. Did you get to see the Jersey Boys when they were here?
Yeah.
Weren't they great?
Yeah, it was really
I
good
could
show.
watch the movie 10, 20 times, you know? Especially how they came up with the tunes and stuff, how they became the Four Seasons, the sign at the bowling alley. I mean, that was just a great movie. And, you know, and it used to be before Jersey Boys, you could probably bring Frankie Valli to your neighborhood. Well, not exactly that, but he would do a performance, relatively, you know, good price. But ever since Jersey Boys, you know, he could price himself out of the world, and people still wanted to hear him. I think it was like $25,000 a couple of years ago for the Italian festival. We just didn't have the money in the budget. When I used to go to the meetings and that, you know, I suggested Frankie Valli, and someone said, we've already tried that avenue and whatever. It's a lot of money, but, you know, he probably didn't make a whole lot of money. They lost some money. But you know who made Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons? Yeah, Dick Clark. They were on American Bandstand, seemed like every other week, you know. They and Bobby Darin. How about that? Great performer, Bobby Darin. All right, I'll tell you about a great performer. This is top notch. This is 5-star. I'm talking about our new teammates, okay? We've been with them for about a year or so. FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook app. Believe me, they are #1. You'll see a lot of their advertising on television and during sporting events. There's a reason for that. They want you involved because you can make some money. Their app is easy to use, especially now with a lot of NBA games. We're into the playoffs. You know, a lot of people have picked the Bucks and the Lakers to meet in the finals. Some people were kind of like, you know, they just lost their first game of the playoffs? Well, they won their second game last night. The Bucks won and the Lakers won. You can win up to a couple $100 if you bet on the NBA games with only a $10 bet. This app is so easy to use, I'm getting used to it because I'm new to wagering. I don't want to miss the boat, so to speak, to make some money. If you're a seasoned bettor, you know what I'm talking about. And once you win, you know what's great about our friends at FanDuel? They pay you out in as little as 24 hours, okay? Here's what you got to do. Listen, Uncle Bill. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get started. Be sure to sign up with promo code WKKX so they know that we sent you. That's FanDuel Sportsbook promo code. I can remember these call letters, WKKX. Here's a disclaimer. You got to be 21 plus and present in West Virginia. First online real money wager only. See sportsbook.fanduel.com for terms and restrictions. By the way, we can help you with this. Gambling problem? All you got to do is visit www.1800gambler.net. All right, I failed to check over some of the sports notes at the beginning of the show because we like to have our friend Butch on right after the news and weather. Cleveland Indians did it again to the Buccos. 2-0 was the final last night behind the pitching of Shane Bieber. Boy, is he good or what? The Pirates struck out 16 times last night. Bieber struck out 11 of the 16. His record is 5-0. Here is an individual has more wins than a team because the Pirates, with their loss, dropped to 4-17. For all of you Cleveland fans out there, and there are a lot in the Ohio Valley, the Indians are now 16-9. Can the Pirates snap a losing streak? Well, they host Milwaukee tonight, a team that's been struggling. Chad Kuhl, what a great name. Hi, I'm Chad Kuhl, yeah. We'll get the test for the Pirates, okay? An update on Pirate President Travis Williams. He's under doctor's care, and he says he's on the road to recovering from COVID-19, all right? Interesting baseball note last night. I usually don't talk about the San Diego Padres or the Texas Rangers. San Diego beat Texas 8-7. In that game, Eric Hosmer hit a grand slam home run. That set a major league record because the Padres, for 4 games in a row, have recorded a grand slam home run. First team to hit a grand slam in 4 straight games. You don't see that happening very often. By the way, Cleveland's going home to entertain the Detroit Tigers. Should I mention this, Lola? The Tigers have lost 20 in a row to the Indians.
Yeah, you brought that up gleefully the other day.
Yeah. You know what the record is?
22 or something, 24.
23.
All right,
Biff's Baltimore Orioles recorded 23 straight wins in 69 and 70 over an awful Kansas City Royals team. All right. I just got a feeling Detroit's going to break the record because Milwaukee's been struggling. They're not hitting. They have a crappy bullpen. If their starter doesn't go 6 or 7 innings, a lot of times they give up leads and whatever. I don't want to see the Tigers make the Major League record history book, so they're going to break the record. It's a 3-game series this weekend, right? Yeah. 20 straight losses. By the way, a lot of people have asked me, I go to my favorite donut shop to visit with some law enforcement friends, and they asked me today, this morning at about 9:30, is this going to be one of the worst teams ever? No. The 52 Pirates, better known as the Rinky Dinks, went 42 and 112. In 1984 and 85, when I traveled with the Pirates and had a chance to see other major league ballparks, which was great for me because I like sports history, the 85 Pirates, with some awful oldie but not goodie players like George Hendrick, Steve Kemp, Lee Mazzilli, over the hill Tony Pena, over the hill Bob Walk. Bob, I hope you're not listening. Kent DeCovey was not in his prime. That team in 85, which I watched lose a lot of games at Three Rivers and on the road, went 57 and 104. But the 52 Pirates were awful. They did have a named player, Joe Garagiola. And they did film a movie at Forbes Field in 52. What was it? About the Angels?
Angels in the outfield.
Angels in the outfield. That was the original in black and white. And then back in the 70s, they did another one with Danny Glover. And it wasn't so cool, but it was all right. But the first one was really cool because you got to see Forbes Field. You got to see the city of Pittsburgh with the smog. There was a lot of smog back then. It's a wonder the pitcher could find home plate at Forbes Field. Just kidding. But the 52 Pirates might have been one of the worst all-time teams. Can you imagine just 42 wins and 112 losses? That, in my opinion, first one ever. And you know what's wrong with these Pirates? What happened to Josh Bell? The team's only hitting like 211. 16 Ks yesterday. 35 or 38 Ks in the 3-game series with the Indians. Bieber is good, but man, I didn't think he was this good. Struck out 11 Pirates, 16 Pirates altogether because the Cleveland Indian bullpen, made up of 4 relief pitchers, struck out 5 more buccos. Yeah. Maybe it's a good thing there are no fans at PNC Park. How many would show up? I don't know. I have no idea. Why do I have Penn State here mentioned, Lola? And 70, I know why. Ohio State could fit into this group. So could Michigan, Michigan State, all these Big Ten schools. They depend on the mega bucks, for the athletic department. By not playing football this fall, Penn State may lose between $75 and $80 million in home games not played. That includes, of course, tickets, game tickets, parking, concession stands, you know what I mean? So it's going to affect a lot of Big Ten schools by not playing football. Ohio State, they pack it in every home game, right? I don't know how many consecutive sellouts they've had. Same with Michigan. And I don't think there's ever less than 104,000 in Ann Arbor. Michigan State sells out, so it's going to cost, and that's a shame. If the students are going back to school, the athletes ought to be playing football. Do you agree, Ms. Miller?
Gone completely online to begin the year.
Yeah.
So they're not going to have any kids on campus.
No, so I don't know. I think the ACC is going to follow up. You've had problems at Notre Dame. You've had problems at North Carolina. Both of those teams are in the ACC. Notre Dame never plays football against the ACC, but this year they're going to be a part of the ACC. But it's funny, they can play basketball, right, and baseball, volleyball, whatever. Notre Dame, they can do whatever they want to do. But they're having problems there on that campus. North Carolina, I think, had 2 players having some problems. And in Mississippi, they're eliminating some Confederate statues that, are right across from the 50-yard line behind the press box. The football players don't want to see those statues while they're working out. Okay, I can understand that. I can understand. But that's part of history, and are we going to destroy history, Lola? Are we going to start all over again?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't have the answers.
I don't either.
I got a lot of questions, but I don't have the answers. Coming up, Ray Fittipaldo. I tried to check in with him between an 11 o'clock hour, but he's, I think, on about the 30-yard line with two sections apart from the next reporter. That's got to be a strange scenario, how they spread out the reporters. And you can't go one-on-one, but, you know, it's a safety thing, you know. He will be joining us at 1:35, and I won't tease him about his youngsters' love for the New York Yankees, who have lost. It's amazing how the Tampa Bay Rays, one of the lowest paid franchises in Major League Baseball, and they have just won 7 out of 8 against the Yankees. But the Yankees have an excuse. They had 5 starters that's on injured reserve. The Yankees may not be playing this weekend in the popular New York Subway Series because they're playing the Mets, and the Mets have some COVID-19 problems. Why do I see this schedule of 60 games not lasting very much longer, Lola?
Because it was inevitable.
Yeah.
You know, NHL and NBA.
They got it right.
Yep. There's
They got it right.
There's no cases in either of those leagues.
By the way, I've become a New York Islander fan. Not because they eliminated the Washington Capitals, because I'm a big Ovechkin fan.
The Caps just didn't want to be there.
Yeah, they looked like the Penguins yesterday. Even Ovechkin looked like he was carrying a piano on his back. You know, even when they were behind 1-0, it was like, what are they going to do? They haven't done anything. The Islanders, can you name 4 or 5 stars? I don't think they have 4 or 5 stars. One of the Islanders said one of the best things happened to the team. These are all young guys, most of all. They're together playing cards, ping pong, you know, pool. They've bonded together in the bubble. You know, maybe the veterans who don't want to be there don't care. But Alex Ovechkin, he'll probably be golfing with Sid Crosby tomorrow. Just kidding, Sid. Just kidding. Capitals, they're out of it. They got shut out by the Islanders 4-0. The Islanders win that series in 5 games. The Dallas Stars said goodbye, see you later to Calgary. 7-3 was the final. The Stars win that series in 6 games. I will be watching Montreal. Who the hell are they playing? And Philadelphia tonight. I might be rooting for the Canadians.
I am.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm a big Carey Price fan, and he can carry that team on his shoulders. You know, if the Montreal Canadiens get out to a 1-0 lead, I believe he can shut out the Flyers, who are very good. They got a lot of good young players blended in with some physical players. You know, they have a good goaltender in Hart, who just turned 22 yesterday. They haven't had a good goaltender since, you know, they won back-to-back titles back in 74-75 against the Boston Bruins. But, yeah, I'll be rooting for Montreal. Hope it goes 7 games. And then it looks like the way it's going, the Boston Bruins will be facing Tampa Bay, which ought to be a great – they're all great series, in my opinion. I even like watching the Western Conference because I'm not too familiar with some of the teams other than like Edmonton, Colorado, and the St. Louis Blues. So, yeah. But you know what? If baseball had the bubble, I don't think, let's see. I have it, Lola, and I can't find it. Maybe I'll have to ask you to find it. Hold on. I do have it. 34 games have been canceled because of COVID-19 problems. And the St. Louis Cardinals finally getting everybody back. They do have more wins than the Pirates. But I'm so impressed with this Shane Bieber. Unbelievable stuff. And Cleveland's been struggling. You know, they're only hitting about .219, but yet they took 3 out of 3 from the Pirates, and who knows what they're going to do to Lola's Detroit Tigers in 3 games.
They've already taken 3 out of 3 from us a couple of weeks ago. So.
That was in Detroit, right?
Yeah.
Detroit's going to win 1 game this weekend, Lola. You can tell me Monday, way to make the call, Bill. Way to go.
All righty.
And then if they lose 3 in a row, and I say, Lola, you were right. They're bad.
You know, they started out.
Yeah, they were.
Guns a-blazing, and now look at them. Yeah.
What's their record? Hold on. They're not in last place.
9 and something.
They are not in last place. Here we go. I can't believe Tampa Bay. They're in first place ahead of the Yankees. The Detroit Tigers, I'm sorry. Well, they're tied with Kansas City for last place in the Central Division. Kansas City 10 and 15. Your Tigers are 9 and 14. Another surprising team, like Tampa Bay, one of the lowest payrolls in baseball. Are you listening, Mr. Nutting? 17 and 8, the Oakland A's. Unbelievable. Unbelievable stuff. But that's why they play the games. That's why they play the game. Do I have to go over anything with you with, well, we covered all the bases, except for sports, so I'll do that with you, Lola. Oh, yeah, he was a good player. Felix Millan, born on the state in 1943. Pirate fans, do you remember when Felix Millan tried to take out Ed Ott? Okay? Ed Ott was running at second base, and Felix Millan, gave him one to the chest. Well, what few people knew back then that I knew, I remember Ed Ott was a runner-up for the PIAA State Wrestling Championship, one of the great wrestlers to play Major League Baseball. He didn't like what Felix did. He flipped Felix up in the air and body slammed him right on the turf in the infield. Felix never recovered. Felix, you should know better than to pick on a wrestler, and he's a catcher too. But he was a pretty good all-star before he got hurt, played in 3 all-star games, played with the Mets in 1973 when they lost to the Oakland A's in the World Series. You know what I remember about that World Series, Lola?
No, I don't.
Willie Mays struggling to run to first base. He was over the hill, and the Mets gave him a job, and he was a pinch hitter, and he grounded, I think, to the shortstop. He could barely run to first base, and it was so sad to watch that. So sad to watch that. I made Biff smile this morning. The manager of the Milwaukee Brewers, who are in town to play in Pittsburgh to play the Pirates, their manager is Greg Counsell. He was a pretty good player with Colorado, Florida, the LA Dodgers, Arizona, and Milwaukee. Now he's the manager. He played his baseball at, and Biff smiled when I said it, Notre Dame. There you go. Ohio State fans, you remember Archie Griffin? Boy, is he that old? Heisman Trophy winner with Ohio State, back-to-back Ohio State fans, 74 and 75. I watched him play in Super Bowl 16 as a member of the Cincinnati Bengals. He was a running back. They lost a tough game to Joe Montana in Detroit, Pontiac, and it was Joe Montana winning in the last couple of minutes in a pretty good football game. I thought the Bengals were going to win. They had first and goal at the 4-yard line and couldn't punch it in. Archie Griffin, how old today, Lola? If he played at Ohio State in the early 70s, how old do you think he would be?
72.
One more guess.
68.
Very good. You win by 2. 66. That's not bad. 66? Okay. Who was it that I watched? Where was he from? Where was Greg Pruitt? What school did he go to, Lola? Did he go to Ohio State?
I don't know. I don't know.
No. He went to Oklahoma.
Oh.
I saw him at Pitt Stadium. He had a rough day. And Pitt had some bad football teams back then. And although Oklahoma was a top 5 team, I don't think there was 25,000 fans at Pitt Stadium. And I'll say it again, during the Dan Marino years, the Tony Dorsett 76 year that he won the Heisman Trophy and Pitt won a national championship, the stadium was not full unless West Virginia and Penn State played there. And Notre Dame. So that's why the schedule looked good last year. Notre Dame's on the schedule for 2020. Guess what? There'll probably be no fans at Heinz Field. All right, before we take a break and talk Steeler talk with Ray Fittipaldo, let me tell you about the NBA and our friends at Sportsbook. It's the #1 sportsbook app. I'm going to say it over and over again, at least 4 times during my show. FanDuel. Remember, FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app. You can really make some money with the NBA playoffs. You know, we watched the Bucks and the Lakers lose Game 1, but they won Game 2 last night. You can win up to a couple of $100 by betting on a team that may go to the finals. A $10 bet. What have you got to lose? You know, your chances are decent that you're going to make some money down the road, because once you win, FanDuel pays you out in as little as 24 hours. I don't think any bookie could make that claim. Best of all, FanDuel Sportsbook will let you place your very first bet risk-free. Just place any bet you want. You can get back up to about $500 if you don't win. So if you don't win, you don't really lose, but you get your money back. You know, it goes into the vault, I call it. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get started. It's a lot of fun. Even if you lose, you're having a lot of fun, and you may get lucky, okay? Sports betting is fun. I've just started to do it, and I'm having fun. I might lose a couple of dollars, but hey, where else are you going to have fun, right? When you can involve sports, because all sports is back again. MLB, NBA, the National Hockey League playoffs, golf this weekend, racing. You know, you can bet on the drivers, all right? Who finishes last? Who finishes first? Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get started, and be sure to sign up with promo code WKKX so they know that We sent you. Disclaimer, 21 plus and present in West Virginia. First online real money wager only. See sportsbook.fanduel.com for terms and restrictions. Gambling problem? I got this for you. Visit www.1800gambler.net. All right. Some news involving the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I got to ask Ray about Jerome Bettis and his lawsuit. Hopefully he does his homework, and I got the story here in front of me. We'll cover Jerome. The bus is in the news and has nothing to do with his football career. We're going to take a break. I'm Bill, across the way Lola. Joining us from Heinz Field will be Ray Fittipaldo with an update on the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are back working after Thursday, a day off. Boy, they got it made. We're the Watchdog.
We've long been known as the region's heart hospital by introducing new cardiac procedures over the years to prolong and save lives. At Wheeling Hospital, we're replacing worn-out aortic valves using a small incision, eliminating the need for open heart surgery. It's called TAVR. There's little discomfort, no stitches, and you're usually home the next day. Recently, our cardiac team performed its 100th TAVR procedure. It's a noteworthy and life-changing milestone. Wheeling Hospital.
Are you struggling to make payments due to an unexpected financial obligation or loss of income? Are you receiving calls from debt collectors? Are you feeling overwhelmed and unsure of what steps to take next? Then you need the experience and expertise of attorney Tom McIntyre and his staff to help guide you through these temporary hardships. Want to hear more about how Tom can help? Then call 877-456-4155 and receive a free copy of Tom's ebook, When Bad Things Happen to Good People. Tom's ebook covers many questions people have about bankruptcy and includes interesting stories about people who tried to avoid filing and people who have filed for bankruptcy. We think you'll be surprised to learn some interesting facts about bankruptcy. Call 877-456-4155.
Managing your business can be a minefield. One step in the wrong direction, and it can feel like everything you've worked for is at risk. I always had a vision of building a team. A crew of true professionals that can handle it all, tax, insurance, and investments. Big enough to partner with Encova, but personal enough to protect your interests on the home front. I'm Gary, and this is the Glessner Group.
Hey man, what can I get you?
Yeah, can I have 2 Coors Lights?
You got it. Hey Mike! I need 2 Coors Lights!
Sure thing!
With a taste as cold as the Rockies, only Coors Light gives you refreshment every time.
Here you go.
Thanks, Mike. Doing a great job. All right, 2 ice-cold Coors Lights.
That's the coldest beer I've ever had.
Hey, they don't call it the world's most refreshing beer for nothing.
Okay, be honest with me. Do you really have the Rocky Mountains in your beer cooler?
You don't believe it? Check it out.
Man, that's pretty amazing.
I know, right? I can't believe it myself sometimes. I mean, this cooler is only 3 feet wide.
Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. With great beer comes great responsibility.
Over 2.5 million Americans suffer from opioid use disorder. Treatment is not one size fits all. Medication-assisted treatment, also known as MAT, is the use of FDA-approved medication in combination with counseling. Remember, different treatments work for different individuals. The goal, no matter what the treatment is the same: help and continued growth and recovery. Go to helpandhopewv.org for more information.
The Highlands Event Center is the area's premier destination for conferences, workshops, employment fairs, weddings, and more. With 4,000 square feet of space, the Highland Event Center can accommodate events large and small. Situated in the heart of the Highlands, guests can enjoy the many restaurants, retail stores, entertainment, and lodging options. To check out everything the Highlands Event Center has to offer, head to thehighlandseventcenter.com or call 833-639-7070.
Oh, there's something so real about living local, and I know without a doubt I'm not alone. And I'm loving living local. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. Say I'm loving living local. WTRF is working for me. The Ohio Valley
Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
West Virginia Metro News. I'm Shauna Johnson. The Monroe County Courthouse is closed to the public today, a closure that comes at a time when COVID-19 cases are on the rise in Monroe County. Local health officials are confirming more than 40 positives in residents and employees at one site, the Springfield Center, a skilled nursing center located in Linside. Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden is vowing to draw on the best of us, not the worst, as his campaign ramps up ahead of the November general election. He spoke from Wilmington, Delaware, Thursday night to close the virtual Democratic National Convention. For the Constitution Party, former Massey Energy CEO Don Blankenship is leading the ticket as the presidential nominee. The mail will run efficiently. What U.S. Senator Shelley Moore Capito is pledging, now that changes to U.S. Postal Service operations are being put on hold until after Election Day, at a time when more Americans are voting by mail because of the pandemic.
Sorry that we've got this controversy with the post office, quite frankly, but I think that we're on the way to smoothing it out and hopefully regain the faith that our ballots will get there on time, safely, and be counted on the proper manner.
The U.S. Postmaster General announced the delay earlier this week. In Cabell County, it proposed more than $87 million school construction bonds on the ballot for Election Day tomorrow. You're listening to Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. Sustainability is part of the new visitor center set to open this fall in Tucker County's Canaan Valley National Wildlife Refuge.
It's LEED Silver, which means it has energy efficient measures such as solar panels, radiant floor heat, really good windows, top-of-the-line insulation. It has an area where the public or the community coming can have meetings in one side of our room.
Ron Hollis is the refuge manager from the Metro News Anchor Desk. I'm Shauna Johnson.
Hi, this is Chris Lawrence from the Metro News News Team. Join us weekdays on the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe for the latest regional news around West Virginia, along with news and weather from WTRF-TV and Bill DeFabio on sports. We give you the Ohio Valley's most comprehensive morning news right here on the Watchdog.
Well, these are glory days for the guys that cover on a daily basis. Some guys 24/7 cover the Pittsburgh Steelers. You get to watch them at training camp, which is not in beautiful St. Vincent College. Boy, I miss those meals. But you know what? It's guys like Ray Fittipaldo couldn't wait to at least watch a practice, and we'll ask him for an update, talk a little bit about some individuals. But you know, I got to ask you, Ray, because it's my job. I was looking at this story with Hall of Famer Jerome Bettis. He has filed a $66 million lawsuit in a discrimination suit. He, of course, is a Hall of Famer, one of my all-time favorite guys, and, you know, football players to interview. The lawsuit was filed in U.S. District Court in Pennsylvania, Western District. Breach of contract, he's seeking $66 million in damage. The former Steelers star contends that EQT Production Company, which is an energy corporation, owes Bettis Company, it's called Integ Serve Trucking Company money, and dropped its commitment to use minority-owned businesses. Jerome and his brother John own 51% of the company. So EQT has denied some wrongdoing, but I guess, as Jerome will say, we'll see you in court. What else?
$66 million, that's a lot of money. And
Yep.
you know, Jerome, this community, since he retired, he's got his hands on a lot of different projects.
Yep.
A lot of good community-based projects,
Yes.
too. So hopefully that works out for him in the end.
Yeah. According to the lawsuit, EQT agreed with two of Bettis's white partners to supply services that were previously contract to Bettis's company. So, all right, of course, we'll have an update, but, that's a big-time story, and I thought we should at least mention it. Now, I'm going to set down the cell phone because I was reading the AP story, and we're not going to talk about lawsuits, are we? But I'm concerned about the future of Cam Hayward. Can't they pay him now, make a deal now? Why let the guy sweat it out? Hello? Hello, Ray. Okay, sounds like there's some fireworks there. And he's gone. Okay. See if he calls us or we call them. Call him. I'll give him a couple seconds. I guess I'll call him. Yeah, we can easily do that. But I knew Jerome since football. He's involved with a lot of community events, a lot of charity work. He was scheduled to be at the Wild Things this year, and of course that's all gone. Lost you. Okay, Ray, I know you lost me. I'm going to try and call you now. Try and do two things at one time. Yeah. Okay, I'd like to sing. We have fun.
I don't know.
I'm going to try and get him.
Why doesn't Ray just call us? It's easier.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Are you there?
Is he there?
You're having a hard time hearing me? Okay, hold on. Let me put you on hold. Testing, Ray. Bill DeFabio and Lola and Wheeling. Ray at Heinz Field. Testing, 2, 3, 4. You hear us?
Got you very faint, but I do have you, Bill.
You have me? Okay. All right, and we got you. All right, where were we? Oh, Cam Hayward. Why don't they just pay the guy? He's like a most valuable player there. I know it's a Steeler policy. We don't talk during whatever. Pay the guy. He's probably sweating a little bit, doesn't know about his future. Pay the guy. He deserves to be paid.
I tend to agree with you, Bill, and I do think before the start of the season, they're going to find a way to get a deal done there. As you know, this pandemic has really changed the economics of the NFL. And, the salary cap could go down as much as $23 million next year. That's obviously going to affect what the Steelers do, but he's one of their best players, and they always find a way to keep their best players. So, for the Steelers' sake and for our sake, because Cam is so good with us in the media, hopefully they can get that done.
Yeah, if you go in the Steeler locker room like on Wednesdays or Thursdays or Fridays, you'll see a group of reporters surrounding Cam, and he loves talking to the media. So, he's one of the really, really good guys, and I think he has when he speaks in that locker room, all the players, even the young ones, listen. Or they better listen, Even if he got some players there who went to Michigan, right? Because he's a Ohio State Buckeye guy. Hey,
they got a lot of Big Ten guys with the Steelers, and certainly Devin Bush is a guy this year and in year two. I think he's got a chance to be really good and to help the Steelers defense out a lot, Bill. So he's one of the key parts of that defense. He can run. Now it's all about, can he run the defense? Can he try to be that quarterback in the middle of the defense that they were missing last season? And they've made some changes this year. Vince Williams is going to play a lot more because that's his forte. That's what he's known for. But they need Devin Bush to step up in his second year, take on more responsibilities. And I think he'll do that. He's got what it takes. He learned on the run last year. Starting almost every game as a rookie is hard. I think he's going to take a big step, take a big leap in year two.
I expect a big year from Tuitt, of course, who couldn't play him a lot last year because of an injury. It seems like he's in great shape. He's got the right attitude, so that's another plus for that defense.
Yeah, Stephon Tuitt, he can ever stay healthy, Bill. He's another guy that's got all-pro, Pro Bowl potential. He's a guy who was a second-round pick. He was a first-round talent, and if they can ever find a way to keep him healthy, he would just add such a different dimension to that defense. Through the first 6 games of last season, he was terrific. And unfortunately for him, he tore his pectoral muscle, had to miss the remainder of the season, and the Steelers still were a very good defense without him. But, you look at it, just look at his talent level, he's better than Javon Hargrave. And if he can step in this year, I think the Steelers in that defense, they're going to be even better than they were if you could stay healthy.
Number 4 on my list, okay? And I got like 5 or 6 questions, so this is number 4. What is it with Ryan Switzer and social media?
I don't know. He seems to respond to everyone.
Yeah, well, no player should be involved with that, really. It's just, it's negative stuff at the end.
I agree with you on that, but I also think he takes a lot of abuse from people. He's an easy scapegoat, I think, because his relationship with Ben, and a lot of people perceive that relationship as the reason he's on the team. He's a guy who can go back there and catch punts for you. He's okay at that. He's okay as a receiver. They're just looking for a little bit more out of him. And I would agree with you. I think he's got to get off Twitter a little bit, but I still think he's probably the fifth best receiver on this roster. And right now, what are we, 3 weeks from the season? I would be surprised if he's not on the 53-man roster when they open against the Giants.
If he's not on it, did you say?
I would be surprised if he's not on it. I think Ben likes him. I think the coaches like him, and I think he'll have a role on this team.
Well, he gets paid quite a few bucks, right?
No, I think he's still on his rookie contract.
Okay.
He was a 4th-round pick of the Cowboys. He bounced around after that. Was with the Raiders and then with the Steelers. So, he only makes like $1 million a year. I think for a 5th receiver, I think that's more than okay.
But they're paying Derek Watt a couple of bucks, right?
Derek Watt now he's making, I think, $2.5, $3 million a year. And I think what he does best and why the Steelers brought him in is they lost a lot of guys on special teams last year. I think having Derek Watt come in and be your special teams captain, be a guy who could sort of run all those units for you, kickoff, return, punt. That guy plays on every single team. And I think he's going to be really good for Danny Smith's units. And then on top of that, he's a fullback. If you look at that Steelers offense last season, Bill, and the struggles in that running game, I think he's somebody who can help a whole lot with, his blocking and being a lead blocker for James Conner and just sort of being an extra set of eyes and an extra offensive line really in that backfield. So I'm looking forward to seeing Derek Watt and what he can do as a special teamer, but especially in that offense. I think he could be a really, really nice boost for that running game.
And number 5 on the hit parade. I'm tired of hearing how Ben's throwing the ball. He's throwing it deep. He's looking good. He might be better than ever. I'm tired of it. Are you?
Well, I think that's the natural storyline of this camp, to be honest with you. I understand it, but I am getting a little bit tired of hearing about it and, writing about it, but that's what people want. I mean, listen, you can talk all you want about, putting right tackle down and the linebackers, but if the quarterback isn't right, it's not going to matter with this thing. We saw that last year. They had a great defense. Their quarterback situation was terrible, and they finished 8-8. So I get it. I understand the curiosity, but let me tell you, just from watching him this week, Bill, I don't see anything out there that I would be concerned with. He is making every throw. He doesn't seem to be having any limitations whatsoever. So I think that's the good news for the Steelers, that they try to ramp up and get ready for the season.
All right, number 6. If Juju Smith-Schuster has a great year, will he be wearing a Steeler uniform next year?
Good question. I tend to think no. And it's not because he's not a good player. It's not because they don't value him. They do. It's just that they have to find guys like Cam Hayward. And then after Cam Hayward, you got to find T.J. Watt. And then after T.J. Watt, you got to find Minka Fitzpatrick. So salary cap for future years, it's not looking pretty for the Steelers. And if you look at the way Juju in the second round in 17. James Washington, second round 18. Deontay Johnson, third round last season. Chase Claypool, second round this year. They've sort of been preparing for this for a while now. So Juju's a great player. Obviously, the number one target for them this year. But if he has a great year, I think he's probably likely to move on as a free agent.
All right, number 6 or 7. Who in the hell is, well, he got your first name, Ray McLeod. Why a double Ray?
I like the name.
I'm sure you do.
I don't know too much about him. I know he's a kick and punt returner. I know he played at Clemson, I believe. So he's another receiver. Maybe he was brought on to push a guy like Ryan Switzer, but listen, there's a reason guys like him are on the street in the middle of training camp, so I wouldn't get too excited that they brought him in today.
You want me to call you Ray Ray?
Yeah, call me Ray Ray from now on. That'll be good.
No. That just, it sounds like, hey, Ray Ray, come on over here. Would you like a glass of soda or a popsicle? No, I'll just stick to one Ray. As soon as I saw that, I said, I bet my guy Ray's having fun with that guy. I can understand. Be like Bill, you know? Ray, whatever.
Yeah, Bill just doesn't really have to sound like Ray.
No. You know, I mentioned earlier, like some of the Big Ten schools, like Penn State, might lose $70 to $80 million without football. You went to Holy Cross. Now, I know you got to rob a bank if you're not a student athlete, because tuition's there, about $60,000 a year now?
When I was there, it was in the mid-20s. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's in the 60s or 70s now.
And they play in the Patriot League?
They do. Yeah.
Okay, and the Patriot League's not playing this year, right?
They are not. Like a lot of those small FCS schools, the Ivy League was the first to sort of break off. But yeah, they're like most of the smaller schools, they're not playing. I think the only ones that are going to play, are the Power 5 conferences. At least a couple of them are still going to try to stick it out.
Yeah, and I don't know about the ACC because, you have problems with North Carolina, which is an ACC team. And for this year only, Notre Dame, of course, basketball, they're in the ACC, but they're in the ACC now. They've had some problems on that campus. So, yeah, I don't know. But back to Holy Cross. They probably have to depend on a few dollars made through their fall sports, right?
Well, they do. I mean, it's not it's not a revenue maker like it is at the bigger schools. But yeah, for sure. We used to go play, Division I schools like Army that would pay a lot of the bills, for the football season, and quite honestly for every other sport there. So yeah, it makes a difference. And when you lose, a revenue maker like that, whatever level of football you're playing, it's going to take a big hit on the athletic department.
Yeah, when you play your crosstown, or you have to go about 40 miles to Boston College usually sells out. I'm sure the Crusaders will get a piece of that, so it's a win-win-win, but right now, nobody's winning.
No, and it's a shame, too. I just think we hopefully can look forward to 2021 being different. I know some of these schools are looking at playing spring schedule. I know some Division IIIs around here kicking around the idea of playing a spring season, a shortened season, but playing in the spring and then hopefully going back to normal next fall. So, I don't know, Bill. I mean, it's just a messed up year, and I think all these schools are just trying to, figure it out on the run.
Well, here's my suggestion, right? If you're truly a good alumni guy, with all the radio gigs you have, newspaper gigs you have, freelance gigs you have, why don't you donate a few thousand to the Holy Cross Athletic Department, Ray? You're a good guy. You tell me that all the time.
Believe me, their endowment is big enough without me contributing any more than I already do.
Yeah, and then when I think of Holy Cross, I think of some great NBA players that played there. So, you know the history of that school.
Bob Cousy, Tommy Heinsohn, I can go on and on.
Yeah, I forgot about Tommy Heinsohn. Yeah, he was a good player there. So you put out some good NBA players. So, yeah, that's good. So, did your son cry since his Yankees lost, 3 in a row to Tampa?
I know, they were 10-5 yesterday, and he's a little bit upset, but I don't know, we're still in good shape. We got to get healthy.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Typical Yankee fan. Well, we're hurt. We got like 5 starters out. Who cares? The Pirates got half of the team on the injured list.
DJ LeMahieu's one of the best players. Believe me, once they get LeMahieu back, they'll be fine, Bill. We'll be talking about the postseason here in a couple weeks.
Okay, all right, I guess so. I said, but it's all strange in baseball. You look at Tampa, even though your son may not like him, remind him that they're a small market team. Then you look at Oakland, their payroll's not very high, and they're successful, okay? And you got the Marlins, their payroll, because, can you name 2 starters on that team? Then you got the Buccos here who, they don't have a whole lot of players making a whole lot of money. So, it's not about small market, because we've watched what the Oakland A's have done in the past, and we've watched what Tampa Bay has done in the past, because the Tampa Bay Rays have, traded a lot of their prospects, a lot of their starters, although they got 2 Pirates that I wish they could send them back to Pittsburgh. You know what I mean?
They're a smart, small market team, and they go out and trade for, Glasgow, and, he's a key piece on their pitching staff. And I think Meadows, too. I think Meadows was really good last year. I haven't kept up with him so much this year, but, he was a key part of what he did last year.
Okay. Have you heard anything from Artie about letting fans in for the games?
No, I know the Chiefs are going to let, I think, 20 to 22,000 in. I think their stadium is bigger, though, Bill, so I don't know how that would affect Hines. I think Hines is probably going to be in that 12 to 15,000 range if they can make it happen. But, the more I think about it, I think the majority of these teams, they're not going to have any fans. And I don't know if you heard it this past week, but they're talking about a bubble for the playoffs where, you would go to a certain city, all 14 teams in one city, and then they would do it like the NBA and the NHL did it. So that's out there now as a possibility. I think the NFL has done a good job so far, but that bubble, the playoff bubble, is an intriguing possibility just because the NBA and the NHL, they've had so much success with keeping their players healthy.
And I bet some Chiefs fans are upset because I don't know if it's the league or Kansas City, they're going to ban the fans from wearing headdresses, and they'll review the Arrowhead chop.
I saw that, and the Cleveland Indians are doing the same thing after the Redskins dropped their name.
Yeah.
So, sign of the times, I guess, huh?
And the Chiefs fans can't even paint their faces, So what?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, the Chiefs are banning fans inside Arrowhead Stadium from wearing headdresses or painting their faces in a manner that has references to the American Indian cultures and traditions. That's effective immediately, all right?
Okay.
Unbelievable, I still think the craziest fans, and you may have seen them in Oakland, are the Oakland fans. They dress up like it's Halloween.
You remember, I don't know if you're a wrestling fan, but they have fans. Whenever I would go to Oakland, they would have fans dressed up like the Road Warriors.
Yeah.
They were like 1980s characters from the WCW. But
Mad Max and all those guys from Australia where the movies were made with Mel Gibson. You're right.
It was always interesting going to the Black Hole. Now I can't go there anymore because they moved to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So.
It might have been the worst stadium I've ever been in for baseball or Super Bowl. I think it was Super Bowl with Montana and Marino. They held Media Day in Oakland Stadium, and most of the toilets weren't working. And there was a flood.
Why doesn't that surprise me?
And there was a flood there, too, on Wednesday. And Thursday, because we had to go back there to do both teams again, it was just miserable. I don't know how the players could the hometown players, the A's and the Raiders, the clubhouse was probably my restroom down the hallway, much cleaner, and I prefer to be there than in Oakland. They just let that stadium go to you-know-what.
And I think now that it's gone, I think that was the last dual-purpose football stadium in the NFL. I don't think we have one any longer in the league now.
And Arrowhead's one of the best, and that was built in 72.
Yeah, and the baseball stadium, it used to be, it's kind of like Pittsburgh. The baseball stadium is right next to Arrowhead Stadium. The way they do it in Kansas City. So that's kind of one neat thing about that place, kind of like Pittsburgh, where they have everything in one place.
All right. Well, let's see. Talk about this weekend. Hurry up. They're going to televise training camp. Give us some info on that, please.
Yeah, Saturday Night Lights. They're going to do a scrimmage. They're going to televise it on KKA, and no preseason games this year, so the coaches have to evaluate somehow. So this is a great opportunity. Watch some of the new guys. Right tackle, future core for Zach Banner. Watch some inside linebackers. There were the two of the starting jobs up for grabs, so that's something for the fans to keep an eye on.
All right. No fans, but fans will get to watch, future stars and players that won't be around in a couple of weeks. Hey, thank you, Ray.
All right, appreciate it.
All right. Ray Fittipaldo, I miss having his son throw out a first pitch at the Wild Things. Wow, what a great kid, even though he wears Aaron Judge's number. All right, I'm out of here. Coming into the host area is Donnie. Donnie Gilbert will be here from 2 to 4 on the Watchdog. Have a great weekend. Be safe, be considerate, and thoughtful of others. I am out of here.